Hello everyone. Before I start, allow me to introduce myself first. I am Hannah Alharin, and I will be tackling the assessment of reading performance, lesson 3. As we all know, reading is an essential academic and life skill. And in today's globalized society where English is recognized as the lingua franca, widely used in business, science, technology, and international communication, the ability to read in English opens numerous doors for learners. Given this context, the teaching of reading the teaching of reading must be carefully planned and delivered using sound principles and informed by relevant theories. Instruction in reading should not be random or unstructured. Instead, it must be grounded on principles that promote effective learning outcomes. Let's start with Gravis M. et al. 2007. He emphasizes that teaching reading should be organized and student focused. Number one is build positive attitudes. Make your students feel that reading is fun and meaningful, not just a boring task. If they are enjoying reading, they'll do it more and they will improve. Second is balance instruction. Don't focus only on one aspect like vocabulary. It should be balanced, like between phonics, fluency, comprehension, and vocabulary. Next is consistent structure and use of time. Reading classes should have a routine so students know what to expect and can focus better. You should use your time wisely. Next is text students can read. Give your students books that fit their reading level. Because too hard, they will be frustrated, and too easy, they won't learn. It should be fit to their reading level. Next is time for word study. Students need time to learn how words work, like how they are spelled, how they sound, and what they mean. Next is encourage independent reading. Let students choose what they want to read on their own to build reading habits. Lastly, coordinate support. Extra help like remedial classes. It should be in line with what's taught in the regular classroom so students don't get confused. Students don't get confused. Next is let's move on to Voinalovic L. 1999. He focuses on keeping students engaged with reading. The first one is, according to him, read often and a lot. The more practice they get, the more practice the student get, the better they read, like learning a sport or instrument. Next is engagement. According to him, students must care about what they are reading. If they are interested, they'll understand and remember more. Next is respond emotionally. Let your students share what they feel or think about a story, not just analyze grammar or structure. Next is prediction. So before reading, get students to guess what will happen based on titles, pictures, or headings. So this will activate their thinking. Next is match task to text. Choose reading tasks that fit the topic. For example, for a news article, you can ask for the main idea and opinions. And lastly, exploit text fully. So use the same reading material in many ways, like ask questions, find new words, discuss the theme, and etc. So next, let's move on to Shaheen V 2000. So Shaheen talks about how reading theories evolve over time. So the first one is the traditional view. So reading, according to him, reading was seen as just saying the words out loud correctly, like little focus on meaning. Second is the cognitive view. Reading became more about understanding. So the idea is that we use what we already know, like our background knowledge, to make sense of the text. Lastly is the metacognitive view. So this is the modern view. It says that students should be aware of how they read, how they can stop, reread, summarize, or change strategies to understand better. So it's about being in control of your own learning. So next, for Noonan, 2001, he builds schema theory, that your brain has files or mental folders of past experiences. So when reading, we use these to understand new text. So he describes three strategies. So the first one is pre-reading. So prepare your students by asking them to predict or brainstorm what the story might be about. So this connects the topic to their own experience. Second one is during reading. So students use techniques like skimming for general idea, scanning to find specific info, and guessing words from context and taking notes. Lastly is post reading. So it helps students reflect on what they read through, like answering questions, making mind maps, and summarizing the context. So next is Anderson 1994. So Anderson also supports schema theory. So he says that our background knowledge or schema shapes how we understand a text. So if a student can connect the reading to their personal experience or prior learning, they will understand and remember better. So that is according to Anderson 1994. So on strategies of teaching reading, with the aim to improve students' comprehension and enable them to effectively and responsibly function in society, teaching strategies are highly paramount as these facilitate meaningful learning. So they have to be judiciously selected considering the student's demographic profile to ensure that the comprehension skills considered as life skills will be well assimilated so that students can eventually apply them in a real life situation. So let's move on to McEwan 2007. So he lists 7 cognitive strategies that help students become smart readers. So number 1 is activating. So think about what you already know. So when you activate, you should think about what you already know. Number 2 is inferring. Guess, meaning not directly stated. Number three, monitoring or clarifying. So ask yourself if you understand and reread if you are confused. Number four, questioning. So ask questions while you are reading. Number five, searching or selecting. Look for a key or key ideas and useful info when you are reading. Number six, summarizing. So say the main points in your own words. So these strategies help make reading activate and effective, not passive. So let's move on to Cox J 2017. So Cox offers useful classroom tools for teaching reading. The first one is graphic organizers. Graphic organizers like diagrams to help students organize their thoughts, like cause and effects charts or story maps. Second one is technology, like use apps, videos, or online stories to make your lessons more interesting. Next is activating prior knowledge. Ask your students what they already know about the topic before reading. Next is word wall. So, you as a teacher, you should display vocabulary words on the wall for easy review. And lastly is the student choice. So, let your students or let them pick what to read. So this can boost their motivation. Next is Barber S 2016. So Barber says that students need strong reading skills in all subjects like science, history, and etc., not just in English. So teachers should first use descriptive text that appeal to senses like sight, sound, smell, and etc. Help your students set goals. Example, I will understand the main idea. Next, use text of different lengths depending on student level. Next, give choices of what to read. And lastly, assess both what they learn, like content, and how well they use reading strategies like skills. And lastly, for Duke and Person 2002, they focus on building a comprehension-friendly classroom. So for them, according to them, let your students read interesting and meaningful text for a good amount of time. Second, choose text related to real life, like topics students care about. Next is offer variety of topics like comics, articles, videos, infographics, charts, newspapers, fiction and non-fiction, and etc. Lastly, teach students how to read different genres like narrative, persuasive, and informational. So, teaching reading is both an art and a science. It requires a deep understanding of principles that foster motivation and structure, like theories that explain the reading process and strategies that bridge theory and classroom application. So, when implemented thoughtfully, these elements can turn reading from a mechanical task into a meaningful, lifelong skill, like empowering students to succeed academically, professionally, and personally in a world where English continues to dominate as a global medium. So that concludes my part. Thank you so much for listening.